Alright, hello and welcome to the eVenture family channel. If it's your first time here, please do subscribe and ring that bell to get notified of other EV news, reviews, road trips, and features of different accessories like this coming up. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of the best and honestly at this point only available options for adapters that will allow you to charge your non-Tesla EV, whether it is a Ford or Rivian now, or perhaps even a Chevy Equinox EV like our brand new one that we've got here, or another GM vehicle, hopefully quite soon, on the Tesla Supercharging network. So we've got the original adapter here from A2Z EV. We've got the upgraded Typhoon Pro. I'll show you the differences between the two. And then we've got the one Vortex here from Lectron, and I'll be showing you some of the differences with them, how they actually work, and which one you might want to go for. I've also got codes for all of these to help you save and to help support the channel, so please definitely use those because it'll help make these a bit more affordable for you and maybe make that difference between picking up one now versus waiting for one of the official ones to come out. So come along with me and we'll get into all of that.
That's right.
All right, so first up here, just in terms of some of the news and updates here. So at this point, this is the beginning of September of 2024. We've had pretty much every major EV manufacturer announce that they will be moving to the North American Charging Standard, or NACS, which is Tesla's standard for charging going forward. None have switched over entirely as far as like changing the port or anything. We haven't even seen like upcoming vehicles really being showcased with that, other than maybe the Rivian R2. But for this point at least, almost every EV that you would buy that's not a Tesla is still going to have the CCS combo port, which is basically the one that would accept this. And the only vehicles that still have the Tesla one, or that have the Tesla one at this point, are Tesla ones. Also at this point, the only manufacturers that have officially onboarding to the Tesla Supercharging network and allow through their software the use of supercharging at Tesla Superchargers with the use of an adapter are Ford with their Mach-E, as well as the Lightning F-150, and then Rivian with their R1T truck and R1S like we've got here. So these are the only ones that you can use right now. They are software locked. Even if you have one of these adapters, you would not be able to use it with any other vehicle on Tesla's Supercharging network quite yet. Now the next set that we believe are supposed to be enabled are GM, and then Polestar and Volvo, followed by others like Mercedes, BMW, others in the future. But as of right now, we still don't know the timings on any of those. GM was supposed to be in the spring, and they've delayed that multiple times. And recently they just provided another update saying that they're working in good faith to get Tesla to help onboard with this. And basically the speculation right now is that Tesla, after firing a bunch of their supercharging team, is not making this easy and not supporting it the same way that they were before, which is leading to these delays. Now it's also GM, and they haven't been the best or most forthright about challenges, especially on the software side of things, like their rollout of the Blazer EV and some of the other Ultium products. But you know, right now it's kind of anyone's best guess about what is leading to the delays, and we don't know exactly when it's going to happen. So at this point at least, we can charge our Rivian on the Tesla Supercharging network, and we've done that multiple times. And I've used all of these adapters now, and they've all worked quite well, but there are some meaningful differences between each, especially in the ways that they sort of latch on and interface with both the port on the vehicle as well as the supercharger connector itself. Show you all of those, and then there's some big differences here in terms of like construction and weight and everything. Now, another thing to keep in mind with these are that these are passive adapters, so they don't have any sort of like smarts inside of them. There's no like computation or anything. The only thing that'll happen with these is that the charging cables and the vehicle themselves can measure the temperatures on these, and so if something does get overheated in here, they have the potential to be able to like ramp down charging to keep that safe. I've used these a whole bunch of times, even on like pretty hot days in direct sunlight, and they'll get warm to the touch, but never like burning or anything like that. And so from a safety standpoint, while these don't necessarily have like sensors and computation inside of them, it is still safe because the temperature can be measured on both sides of the connection here. And then the other thing is that none of these are officially supported by any vehicle manufacturer, including Tesla right now, or charging equipment manufacturer. And basically all of them have said that they will support ones that are endorsed by the vehicles. And so none of these right now have actually been certified for that. None of them are endorsed. The speculation is that both Lectron and A2Z EV have been working with the UL certification board to finalize the standard for UL certification. And once that happens, it is likely that at least one manufacturer will officially support them at that point, especially because they're having a hard time getting the official ones made right now. And so having the ability to certify another one, especially if they have the ability to like ramp up production, probably help them. So GM might be the first one for that. And so I don't have the official charging adapter from Tesla or Rivian at this point. They're basically the same one, but it's just a difference of who actually provides it to you. I'm on the list for Rivian's one, but as we have a like 27,000 number VIN, it's gonna be a little while till we get ours. They're still like in the 1,000s to 2,000s right now, so we could be waiting quite a while still. All right, so let's actually take a look at these. All right, so we're gonna start here with the Electron adapter. So this is the Electron Vortex adapter, and you can see, it's fairly simple. You've got a nice, like pretty heavyweight construction here. This latch itself that latches into the vehicle, I believe, yeah, that's metal. And then on this side, you've got a nice little latch on the inside here that is controlled by this little mechanism here. This is like fairly hard to push in intentionally so that you don't accidentally like rip this out. So on early versions of this, there were some, I don't know if you call it defects or just that they hadn't, the manufacturer had not completely followed the specification for these. And so on some batches of them, you'd have a problem where this latch actually was not deep enough and it would not fully hold on to the cable. And so you could just rip this out, which is a big safety hazard because you could have electrical arcing, and especially with the high current that is involved in DC fast charging, that would be incredibly dangerous. Now they have addressed that. They've been working with their manufacturer to fix those tolerances, and I've heard in some cases now it's actually a bit tight, and some people have had issues getting these disconnected from the charging cable. I definitely haven't. I've used this at least a few times and haven't had that problem. You do have to push like this latch down a little bit hard to get it to, you can see in there, to get that to like fully go down all the way. And you can even see just from like using this a couple of times here, there's a little bit of like scuffing and stuff on here just from how tight the tolerances are. But I think it's good that at least, it's manufactured that tightly and everything. You may want to put like a little bit of lubricant or something in here to make it a little bit easier to get on and off, but I haven't done that and I've been fine. And then on this side, this latch is actually quite easy to use, and you can easily like one hand this. I like also that this one you can do like thumb here and then you pull the kind of trigger finger down here. So it's technically like one hand operation though, in most cases, just because of the weight and dealing with the cables and everything I'm always using two, but this definitely works quite well for that. The only thing I don't like about that one is that you do have like the two different latches, so you have to, work with both of those when you are disconnecting. But they're both pretty easy to lock in when you're charging itself. Although I have had the occasional issue where it's just very tight with the cable handle itself, especially like if the handle has been, beaten up or scuffed or anything. And so sometimes it can be hard to get on. All right, then next up we've got this one, which is the original A2Z NACS to CCS adapter. Now this has actually been discontinued, not for like a major reason or anything, but just because it has been replaced with the Typhoon one that Pro that we'll get to next. And so I like this one because it's very light and small. It is in like pretty well balanced too. It's still like very heavy, durable construction. There's some heft and stuff with this, but what you have here is very similar like latching mechanism up here to the CCS side like you did on the Electron one. The major difference here is that obviously it's a little much shorter and they've like milled this entire part out so you don't have all of the weight and stuff on here. And then the locking mechanism on here is a little bit different. You've got like a spring-loaded latch here, then you have this sliding lock thing. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of this this, I found it to be a bit fiddly. It's workable, but sometimes like you go to, you know, put the cable in and it doesn't want to go in all the way because you don't have it like fully opened. Then you do that and you have to like manually slide this on and click it on, you know, to get it fully on there and latched and everything. And just sometimes it doesn't work the way that you want, and then things aren't charging and you don't know exactly why, and you just got to mess with this. So I do like this one fine. It's very convenient and easy to travel with, but I do like that they've actually kind of moved on from this design. And let me show you the Pro now, which is even better. All right, and then last but not least, this is the A2Z Pro Typhoon, which is my favorite of the lot and the one that I've been using continuously now on our trips. So this one, not too different on the CCS side here, still, you know, the same kind of latch here, very easy to use. But what makes this different is this latch here now, you can see there's no separate latch that you have to push on. Instead, it is all just done through this top one here now. So when you push this one, there's sort of like almost a 2-click type of thing here where you depress it a little bit and that will unlock the CCS side, and then you continue pushing all the way and that opens this NACS side. So I like this one. It is definitely beefy boy though. It feels like you can do some damage with this one and use this as like a security device if someone's harassing you at charging. But you know, even still, this is just sitting in the car most of the time anyway. I like that they give you the carrying case for both of these, like the little eggshell case, so it's not getting bumped up and bashed and stuff inside the car, and you're not going to get dust in it. So this has been great. And you can see I've used this one a bunch now, and I think like sort of this, I don't know to call this, like lip design here makes it a bit easier to get the stuff in there without scuffing it up. And then I just love that this one is like truly usable one-handed, and the design of this one seems to work the best with the supercharging cables themselves, and I'm always able to like very easily get this one on and off one-handed. So let me show you how these like actually latch on and compare that way, and then I'll show you what it's like actually using these at a supercharger. All right, now I just realized that I no longer have a Tesla charging cable anymore, so I'll have to kind of demonstrate this a little bit with the closest thing I do have, which is a CCS to Tesla adapter. So, oh well, sorry about that. But first off, what I wanted to show is that these are not going to work for AC charging. So if you do have like a Tesla charging cable for your wall connector for your home use, or even if you're like at a place and they have a Tesla destination charger, these will not work for that. They actually don't have all of the requisite like charging pins that would be in here. They just have like the communication ones. And so I've actually seen some people confused by this. There was a guy with a Mustang Mach-E recently at a place that we were at trying to use the adapter that Ford provided him to AC charge, and was wondering why like he wasn't getting any charge. It won't work that way. Yeah, so instead what you would need for that is one of these like AC adapter charging ones. I've got this one from Rivian that I recommend. I've been using a ton. It works super well. I've featured a ton of other ones on the channel too, so you can find a bunch of those. But basically, yeah, that's the main difference here. And you can see like the way this one works is got all of that stuff, and it's actually like 5 different pins here on the AC side for J1772. And so with the Tesla connector, just go in like that, and then you can, you know, of course, charge this to the vehicle. Just like that. Interesting that that went green. Huh. Kidding. Somehow created perpetual energy, I guess. So anywho, that'll work that way. All right, and then for our fast charging adapters here, show the Electron one first. You can just see this would go in just like this. And here you can even see it needs a little bit of leverage to get that on there, right? And then here in our Rivian, this would go like that. And that's pretty easy. And so then when we want to take that out, we always do that side. Then just have to kind of lever this one back out. And here you can see like, yeah, this can get tight sometimes. All right, so we're here at the Tesla Supercharger now, and just give you a little side-by-side comparison here. So these are both of the A2Z Tesla Supercharging to CCS adapters. This is the original one. This was called the Typhoon, I believe. And you can see it's a little bit more compact than the Pro one that we've got now. But the main difference here, the part that interfaces with CCS is exactly the same, but on the back part here, the part that goes into the Tesla or NACS port is a bit different. So in this old one, we had this manual latch here that you had to click it on and then slide this to lock it in and then slide to unlock, which always worked fine, but it's just a little bit finicky, and I found it sometimes difficult to get latched on depending on the cable itself. And so instead now on this new one, we have you can see there's still like the little tab in here that holds it onto the cable, but instead of there being a separate little locking tab or something here, that will actually move with the same latch here as this main one for the CCS, and basically it's kind of like a two level system. So we push this first one for the CCS part, and then you can see that bottom latch is not moving at all, but if we push it harder, then that one will actually come in unlatch. So that makes it much easier to use and kind of better overall. This is a little bit heavier. They're both quite heavy, like very solid feel on these. Latching mechanisms themselves are very similar. The buttons, I guess, are a little bit different here, but overall, like, feel and everything is about the same. And so I like this one just because it has a little bit easier to use latching mechanism with it, but still, I mean, absolutely no problem. And this one is just like automatic, so you just slide on like that and it clicks in super easy, and then we have no problem with charging. And then we just push that latch like that and it slides right off, so easy. Whereas the other one, when we would lock this before, you had to kind of force it on a little bit more like that, make sure that's unlocked, slide it all the way on, then click that latch in to make sure it works. And that has to be fully locked in order for it to actually charge. And so sometimes it just wouldn't go in fully, the car wouldn't start charging, you didn't know, was it the car, was it the charger itself, or just the adapter. And so this one is actually much more easy to use. So I definitely like using this one now. All right, so we're gonna get charging up here, and I do love these adapters just because they are very easy to get in there. And the experience with these Tesla chargers is always just awesome. So fast to connect. I just heard it click, and we should be charging in just a second here. Yep, there we go. Alrighty, and I'm sure we're ramping up quickly. All right, so those are my favorite adapters for use in charging a non-Tesla on the Tesla Supercharging network. As I said, my absolute favorite one is this A2Z Typhoon Pro adapter one. And if you're interested in picking up either one though, I have links in the description and my codes for both. And you know, I know like overall these little discount codes don't seem like much, but especially on an item like this, it does add up to a pretty nice savings. So you'll definitely want to make sure you take advantage of that. And especially with how slow production of the official Tesla one has been so far, if you are looking at getting a third-party one, even though they are not fully certified, and so I can't like fully recommend them yet, although like I said, I've been using these pretty regularly myself, and you know, they've been working fine, but use them at your own risk. If you are considering picking them up, then this will definitely help you. All right, well with that, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you out there for another electric adventure soon.